If you are around 40 years old, you are probably starting to realize that the most expensive thing you can buy is a second chance. You are likely balancing a mortgage, your kids' college savings, and the quiet realization that you have fewer working years ahead of you than behind you. Today, we are breaking down the boring assets that make everyday Americans rich and the single invisible principle that can stop you from trading your life for a paycheck. Welcome back to Teddy's Wealthcraft, where we help everyday Americans build real, lasting freedom. If you are ready to take control of your financial destiny, hit that like button and follow the channel. There is an incredibly common behavioral trap that ruins 90% of investors in your midlife, and understanding the invisible principle of asset systems is the only way to avoid it. So let's get started.
We have been conditioned from a very young age to believe a massive lie, that the only way to earn a decent living is to trade our time for a paycheck. You study hard, you get a degree or a trade, you find a steady job, and you show up every single day to exchange 8, 10, or 12 hours of your life for a set amount of paper bills.
But here is the hard, cold reality of that system.
Time is a finite resource. No matter how brilliant, talented, or hardworking you are, you only have 24 hours in a single day. If you stop showing up to work, your income instantly drops to zero. This is active income, and if it is the only stream of revenue you have, you are mathematically locked into a modern-day form of servitude. You cannot scale your physical presence. Your energy peaks in your 30s and 40s, and eventually, your body will demand that you slow down. When you leave all your money sitting in a traditional savings account, hoping the bank will help you grow it, you are actually sliding backward. Traditional savings accounts pay almost nothing, often around 0.39%, while inflation quietly raises the price of groceries, gas, and healthcare by 3% or more every single year. You are technically paying a quiet tax just to let your money sit safely in their vaults, while the banks lend your money out to others at up to 20% on credit cards. To break free from this linear treadmill, you have to completely shift how you view a dollar bill. Most people look at money as a token to trade for things, but the wealthy look at money through a biological lens. Every single dollar you save is a living seed, a soldier, an employee with the potential to breed and have money babies of its own. To understand how to change your trajectory, you must look at how money actually flows through your life. Every single dollar you touch falls into one of 4 distinct buckets: income, expenses, assets, and liabilities. The middle class is heavily trained to focus on liabilities. They get a raise at work, and immediately temptation whispers in their ear to buy a bigger house, lease a nicer car, or take out loans to cover a flashier lifestyle. This is what we call lifestyle inflation, and it feeds directly into a highly destructive cycle called the losing loop. In the losing loop, your active income goes toward paying off your liabilities, like your mortgage, car payments, and credit card interest first. This leaves you with almost nothing to cover your actual living expenses, so you are forced to borrow even more money or swipe a credit card just to get through the month. Your debt compounds against you, and you find yourself trapped in the rat race, working 60 hours a week just to stay afloat. The truly wealthy do not live this way. They do not use their physical labor to pay for their lifestyle. Instead, they use their asset bucket to cover their expenses.
Under the 70-30 rule, you commit to living off exactly 70% of your take-home pay to cover your expenses. If your expenses are too high to allow this, you don't just cut back on your lifestyle. You focus on increasing your income through side gigs, freelance projects, or micro-investing. You take the remaining 30% of your income and split it into 3 equal 10% slices.
10% for giving. Giving shifts your brain from a state of scarcity and fear to a state of abundance and confidence. If your budget is too tight, give your time instead. 10% for debt payoff. Use this extra slice to target the principal of your liabilities directly, systematically destroying your debts until they are gone. 10% for building assets. This is your seed money, the capital you use to build automated perpetual streams of income. Once your debt is paid off, you redirect that debt slice here, meaning you are now investing 20% of your income into assets every single month.
When most people think of investing, they imagine stressful, high-risk gambles like day trading stocks or chasing speculative cryptocurrencies. But the wealthiest business owners prefer what are known as boring businesses. They want systems that operate quietly in the background, requiring very little daily maintenance. Let's look at some real-world examples of these boring, highly profitable assets.
Vending machines. You place a machine in a high-traffic break room or waiting area. You stock it once a week, and for the other 6 days, that machine stands there quietly collecting cash and digital payments from hungry, thirsty customers while you are at home sleeping. Storage units. You own a simple concrete building divided into secure rooms. There are no toilets to fix, no late-night maintenance emergencies, and no complex tenant disputes. People simply pay you a monthly subscription to store the things they don't have room for in their homes. A local lead generation site. You build a simple website that ranks at the top of Google for local services, like plumbing in Omaha or roofing in Austin. When local customers visit the site and request a quote, you automatically route those leads to a local business owner who pays you a steady monthly fee for the extra business.
Digital products and content. You create a simple digital guide, a translation template, or a tutoring tutorial once. You upload it to the internet, and because the storefront is open worldwide 24 hours a day, people can purchase and download that file over and over again. Your cost to replicate and deliver that product is virtually zero. Software or a subscription site. You build or acquire a simple online tool that solves a specific recurring problem for a business owner. They pay you a small monthly fee to keep using that tool, creating a highly predictable, compounding stream of monthly recurring revenue.
At first, these small micro assets look underwhelming. You might only make $100 a month from a single vending machine or lead generation site. Your brain might tell you it is not worth the effort and tempt you to pull your money out. But this is where you must understand the 5-year curve. The first 2 years are the foundation, the quiet, slow years where your growth feels completely invisible. But by year 3 and 4, the returns you've reinvested begin to accelerate, generating their own returns. By year 5, the curve turns almost completely vertical. You enter the infinity loop, where your assets are buying more assets from the cash they kick off, eventually covering your entire living expenses. Now, I want you to look closely at every single business and asset we just talked about, from the vending machine in a local lobby to a global software subscription. They all share the exact same hidden principle. The wealthiest business owners don't sell more hours. They build systems that create recurring income from assets. Think about that for a second. The cashier who tracks her spending, cuts out $150 a month in impulsive snack runs, and automates that money into a broad market index fund is applying this exact same principle. She is trading a temporary habit for an automated compounding system that eventually grows into over $25,000. The common thread across all of these boring businesses is that they continue to generate revenue long after the initial work is done. You plant the seed once, you build the machine once, and then you step back and let the system do the heavy lifting. If you want to duplicate this success, you do not need a fancy business degree, a rich uncle, or perfect market timing. You simply need the discipline to start building your own microsystems today. Before the clock steals another hour of your day, take one concrete action. Calculate your real net worth. Cancel one forgotten subscription that is quietly bleeding your account.
Or open a basic tax-advantaged account like a Roth IRA, which allows you to contribute up to $7,000 a year tax-free and set up an automatic transfer of just $10 a week. Set your snowball in motion today and let the invisible principle of recurring assets buy back your personal freedom.
If you could convert just one minor daily luxury into an automatic compounding asset this week, what would it be? Let me know in the comments below. If this conversation brought you value, drop a like and follow Teddy's Wealthcraft to think smarter, protect your family, and see the financial opportunities that others miss.